All right, guys. Good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. I want to talk about today's trading, January 7th, 2025. And I want to talk about the top three mistakes that the day traders should avoid. I'm going to go through the trades that I did today, and I'm going to talk about those mistakes that you should avoid while I'm actually recapping my trades. Today, I traded the fubo TV, FUBO, which has been amazing. It's a $300 million floated stock, but has been very volatile. That was my biggest gain. I traded NVIDIA for a little bit of a profit, and I also traded Tesla as well. And I'm going to talk about it. And of course, we traded a little bit of NVIDIA options as well because we were discussing about options trading in the chat room. But now let me walk you through. And of course, I have some bonds and the VOO position is still holding on that, even though the market is very volatile. Now let's go through the number one mistake. The number one mistake that traders should avoid is having a bias toward trading before the market opens. Like if you look at the NVIDIA chart today, so NVIDIA was gapping up significantly at the all-time high because there is this consumer electronic conference in Vegas, and the CEO of NVIDIA were supposed to have a conversation over there, and then maybe releasing new products or cars or whatever in that, and the people were anticipating that event can actually have a really huge impact on on the price of Nvidia. And as you see here, in the last couple of days went up, especially yesterday was a really great day. And then Nvidia went all the way close to all-time high, which was back in, I think, November 21st. And even in the pre-market was gapping up significantly. And everybody says, okay, Nvidia, this is going to be probably a very amazing day for Nvidia. As you see here, it was gapping up 2%. Nvidia closed at 149. 43 and it was trading right around 153.65 at the open. But as soon as the market opened, sold off significantly, dropped 2%. And now as I'm actually doing this recap, it's down 5%. It was even more, went lower than this. So it might actually go to 140. And as you see here, the daily chart is just a very disgusting and a scary drop that NVIDIA has. And still, we have another 3 hours, 4 hours in the market. It might actually go lower. So the number one mistake is having a bias toward that. Okay, gapped up, it's good news. It's going to all-time high, it's going to go higher without doing any risk management. So for trading, it's very important to look at the price action at the open if you want to day trade at that. So as you see here, when NVIDIA traded at the open, and Jared and a lot of our traders, including Brian, took the trade to the short side live in YouTube. So there is no point of being long biased in there. So as you see here, the stock is really weak and it just keeps going down. Brian, for example, did a really quick bounce trade from the previous day close on that, and he made money. But overall, you shouldn't have any bias that you say, oh no, NVIDIA must go up, must go up. No, there's no way that this stock is going to go lower. No, it's just you have to look at the price action, especially the volume weighted average price. If you're below that, that means that there is selling pressure on that. So what I traded on NVDA was a reversal. So I didn't really short it at the open. So I really tried to catch a reversal on that. And I did a multiple trade on that. And the one trade that I tried to go long on it was essentially a bounce from the previous day close. And as you see, one time it bounced back, and I said, okay, maybe it becomes a double bottom. And I tried to go long. I got a stopped out. One more time I went long, went up, and I got a stopped out. And that goes into my second point that I want to talk about is that you do not want to let trade goes against your stop loss, even if you're 100% sure about the company, or even if you're 100% sure about the strategy that you were thinking that you're going to work on that. The reason for that here is if I were not getting stopped out here for a long, again, I'm going to zoom in here a little bit more to see exactly what was my plan. Was when I went long here in the last trade, I put a stop loss around here, and I was hoping to get to the moving averages and potentially VWAP and above that, so for multiple risk to reward that I have. If I were not getting stopped out here, look at this, how much lower the price went to 144. Even later, I'll show you that even to 140. So that's how you blow up your account, especially if you're leveraged on options or something like that. That's some of the heavy losses are going to come at that. Okay, I got to stop that. So the second mistake that you should always avoid is not respecting your stop losses. And then, okay, so the NVIDIA came down around the 145 level. It did hit this, quickly bounced back with volume. I went long again. I got stopped out. I went long again. And eventually I got stopped out. multiple times. So that's again another trade that I really wanted to catch this from 144.33 level, and I got to stop that. And as you see here, I did multiple times on it, especially 4 or 5 reversal on that, but every time I really tried to stick into my stop loss, and that's how actually I manage my losses. Eventually, Nvidia went completely down towards 140 level. So if you look at the daily chart, we have this moving averages on 140.58 here. So on 140.58, and as you see, eventually I got one trade on it that it popped up, and I made the profit on that. It never really came back to the low of the day, and I still trading very weak during the day. So the number 2 mistake that you should avoid is that not respecting your stop losses. And now I want to talk about the third mistake that day traders should avoid is taking unnecessary trades. Like for example, here if I want to look about the trades that I did, at the open I did a very nice trade on fubo TV. Fubo is a stock that is trading at around $5-6, and it's a little bit more difficult to trade these lower price stocks. But I had a really amazing trading day on that, and I really didn't need to mess around with Nvidia. Eventually, I got out of Nvidia for a good profit. But when you're having a really good day like this that I had, so FOBO was gapping up 11%, around 10% at the open. I did open range breakout, went up, and I got stopped out, came back up. I went long again. So for 1 minute open range breakup above the VWAP, I partialed, and then I added more, and all the way up to 630. So from 550 to 630, I had a really amazing trade on that. And but the trade that I took on FOBO was pretty awesome, and I really should have stopped trading after that. So again, if I want to go through the daily chart on FOBO, FOBO had the news yesterday. It was really massively up from $1 to over $5, and today also had a really massive day gapping up, and I had a really amazing trading day on that. But I should have stopped trading after I have such a really good trading. So the mistake number 3 that traders should avoid, and I like to in this recap to emphasize on that, is stop trading when you are done with your profit targets. So again, the trade that I did on FOBO was trying to do a 1 minute open range breakup. I got stopped out. As soon as it came back up, I went long again, partialed, added more, all the way up from $5 to 630, which is a really massive move. I added one last time on it at 630, and I wanted to pop up above high of the day toward the 650, but I got to stop that, because when you're actually adding multiple times, your average is going to come higher. In this case, I added a lot, so my average was very close here to 610. I got to stop that completely out of it, and as you see, it never really went up. During the day, it went back, down, and then eventually came back up. I think if I want to go to the 5-minute chart, somehow it came back up and broke the high of the day. But you really don't want to be stuck in that. So essentially, three mistakes that you should avoid. Number 1 is you should not have a bias toward long or short before the market opens, and you should not be too religious about it, because you don't know if the price is going to go stay strong or stay weak, like in case of Nvidia. The number 2 is that you do not get stop out at the original stop loss that you have in mind, and that's 100% absolutely best way to blow up your account very fast. You always have to say, you can always get back in there. That's the whole point. Like for example, you can always get back in there. In the case of FOBO, I got stopped out, but as soon as it came back up, and I said, damn it, got back in there. And I can actually make the profit even with more by adding more into my trading. And the number 3 is that when you actually have a stop, you have a profit in mind for the day, you have to stop trading. Otherwise, again, by 9:41, I was really profitable. But again, the trade that Nvidia that I did was really all after 9:41. It was out of boredom, and as you see, you just a small loss, and you really give it a go. All right, thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. If you have any questions, just leave it in the comment, and make sure that you can actually watch me trade live on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe and watch me live during the market hours in this channel.